Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with today's load page. This one is going to be a strange one. The prompt is based on Debbie Harry of Blondie, and it has to do with standing up for yourself, and so that's the story prompt that I'm going to go with. That's kind of going to be my take on the story prompt. And then based on the fact that her image was immortalized by Andy Warhol, we're to do something with our photos or our page that looks a little like Andy Warhol. So I found filters for the two photos. What I'm talking about in my story is that my eyes were crossed from the time I was 18 months old until, forever. And all the doctors that saw me kept suggesting surgery. My parents, my mother in particular, did not believe in it. And there's a whole story that I'm not going to elaborate on the front of this page. I'm going to do my very private journaling on the back. But as soon as I was of legal age, I arranged the surgery myself and did it when I was 19. And so this is a photo that shows kind of what my eyes looked like. A lot of times my right eye would kind of be totally behind my nose, and you can see how lovely my teeth were too. So this one was probably about a year after I had the surgery, and so both eyes, same direction. People could actually tell that I was looking at them when I argued with them or had a conversation with them. So what I'm going to do is the photos, which I probably printed a little bit larger than I intended to, I'm going to kind of go over here so that you can get the full range of colors there. And I'm maybe going to move it up a bit like that. And I'm going to use, this is also Mixed Media Mayhem. And the recipe this week is to use ink, metal or metallic, and a multi-photo. So I've got the two photos down. This is something I discovered today while looking for something else. It is artistic wire, craft wire, and I have no idea how it's really supposed to be used, but I'm going to kind of use it like thread and kind of have it coming out from under the photo. So I'm going to have to do that before I put the photos down. But even before that, I want to use this. This is my first application of ink. This is a stencil that John got me, and he was so proud of himself because he thought that with both of us, with all of our vision and, eye problems, he had some kind of had vision problems all of his life, that an eye chart would be kind of a cool thing. And I honestly, at the time that he got it for me, I have to say I wasn't quite sure how to use it. So I think this is going to be the perfect page. And what do you know, I even have some googly eyes. Not quite sure how I'm going to use those yet, but I may do. So the first thing I'm going to do is just do Distress Oxide ink on here. And then I'm going to stamp. And I'm using black soot because as I found in the last layout I did, this Spectrum Gardenia collection just looks great with black. And so I'm going to kind of rub it in fairly thick, and I'm going to do some splattering. And I want this, a lot of times I do a kind of a fade or a blended look. This I want to look very, very solidly black. I want it to show up. I may put something, you know, it may not, the whole thing may not show on the layout, but I want it. And I think this is the best applicator. If I used the other brushes that I have, I'd probably be brushing a lot of the hairs, the bristles. I'd probably be dislodging a lot of bristles. Okay, so now I'm going to hope that ooh, look at that. I love it. Okay, let me put this aside. And then I'm going to go back and do some splattering. And I'm going to do the splattering. I'm going to kind of build on the splattering that's already there. I'm going to do the splattering so that there's quite a lot on top of the eye chart. And I just want more black accents, because when you have something that strong, you have to have some other repetitions of it, at least for me, to be comfortable looking at it. I want it to have some other versions of that color around. Okay, now I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to stamp. Let's see, the photos are going to be right here. I kind of want some of the stamping to show under the photos, kind of like the okay, and just kind of whirly swirly there. I'm sure that's a legitimate crafting word. So that's my second kind of, well, my third kind of inks. I have liquid ink and I have the oxide inks and so forth. I'm going to now do, well, actually, no. I'm going to do the rub-ons next. I have this rub-on that really has no particular meaning on this page, but it's loose and it was floating around and getting stuck on things. So I'm going to use it just because it kind of looks nice with that color scheme right there. So I'm going to, and it's just a little bit of mixed media that happens to not have anything to do with ink, but I've used enough ink to qualify for the prompt. And let me bring this back around over here where as I'm lifting it up, if I have to press down it, it'll be easier and I won't have to reach with my bad shoulder. Because of course my bad shoulder is my right one and I'm right-handed. And that's gonna complicate recovery, I think. But I'm kind of trying to practice doing things with my left hand. And but this isn't one of them. And I'm going to do, because I have some more in that color range, I'm gonna maybe do some down here. Let me get the words right side up. And these colors will not necessarily, you know, it's not tone on tone kind of thing that I'm doing here. Although I could, let's kind of do that. It's just adding more textural interest to the page and somewhat subduing this and pushing it a little bit more to the background. I'm not afraid of it standing out. I wanted it to stand out, which is why I pressed so hard on my brush to get it to be a deep, rich black color. That is not sticking because that Distress Oxide is powdery. So I'll just pick that up and I will try to put it down right here. See if it'll stick. Nope, it's not wanting to stick. Let me try with this again. I'm not going to give up. We'll Nope. Oh, you know what? I had it upside down. Did I have it upside down? It doesn't matter. I'm throwing it away. I'm tossing it. And I have this kind of a pale blue that I'm going to put maybe right here just because it's kind of in contrast with what else is going on over here. And I have some butterflies that I'm going to put right in here that do pick up on that red and orange palette there. And anywhere that something doesn't stick, I'm going to try to stick it somewhere. And if it doesn't, see that, what that is the part that probably stuck to the packaging. When I said it moved around to places I didn't necessarily want it to. So this green can go up here and that kind of keeps a little bit with the tone on tone. And let me try these green dots down here. They're not sticking, so I'm not going to try it anymore. Now, the last rub-on I want to use is going to be right here. And I love butterflies as a symbol of change or personal growth. And that's kind of what it represents here. And I'm going to do, I'm going to have this kind of somewhat off the page. Well, it's stuck now, so let me just get it on there. And I like that some of it goes over some of the dots there. And this part on the bottom that isn't on the page, I'll put that somewhere. I'll put it maybe right over in here. So we'll see when we get that, when we lift all this up. I love that these butterflies have so much black in them and the text is black. That all just kind of reinforces what we have going on. I'm going to be okay if some of that doesn't. Well, let me peel it the other way I think that might be a little more successful. There's some of the details that need to be encouraged. I like for every little splotch and splatter to stay. Because I've really come to view that as kind of a critical aspect of the art. Here's where I'm gonna kind of separate that, and I'm gonna kind of let it have a rough edge there. And then this other pink, I'm just gonna add it right in here. Just and there's a couple little splattery details, and I don't care that those are a little bit out of place. Okay, so enough for that. Now I'm going to take this metal wire and I'm going to cut it and just kind of lay it out really crazy like this. And then I'm going to put the tape adhesive. Well, let me glue these together because I think putting them on as a single unit will be easier than separating them. So I'll put the tape adhesive on here, and I'm going to add liquid glue to really hold down the wire. Okay, and I can twirl this and kind of stick it under, and I'll coax some of this out, and some there. Maybe I will twirl that, and maybe I'll kind of twist a little twirl there, and just kind of let it, I think I need some more actually. It's not as visible as I had thought that it would be. I wanted it to kind of come all the way down in here, and I underestimated the size of the photos again. So I'm going to kind of squinch it up like this and put some glue rather heavily right in there. And I'm going to just kind of shove it up under there. Okay, and that should hold. I want to do something similar up at the top. I want it to look kind of, I don't know. And when I say Warhol-ish, I don't mean like anything that Andy Warhol ever did, but something that I haven't ever seen before. So something unexpected, something different. Let me turn this around, get some glue under there, And I'll kind of put that in there. When that glue dries, those guys will be anchored down there. And I've got this that I can kind of curl and bend. That's kind of cool. The only part I'm not liking too much right now is this one. And so I'm kind of going to just sort of twirl it around. Let me see if I can get that to stick in wet glue just by itself without a photo pressing down on it. You know what I could do is I want the title to be The Eyes Have It, but maybe what I'll do is put a couple of, and I want to do it kind of right in here. I'm going to use these alphas, and I'm going to do the word the. Let's see. And you kind of get an idea of where I'm headed with this. I want those to hold down the wire, and I'll put those guys there. And they will, you know, you can kind of move it around and they'll be looking different ways, or you could have them facing both ways. Let's see. Okay, so the eyes have it. Now I have another metal embellishment here that I thought I might use. I always do overlapping hearts. So I was thinking I might put this down and then find another heart in a different form and put it in here. And it was really, I was looking around to see if I had anything that looked like glass. And because I think, you know, she had a heart of glass. Was one of her songs. I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to lay something on top of it. I don't know what. This, my brand new tube of white acrylic paint. I'm going to press that down and let it sit on there while I look for another heart. And I have these hearts, which are little, but you know, this one looks a little like glass, don't you think? I wish they didn't have any color, but I'm going to take, well, I'm going to take a light pink one. And we'll see. I'm going to put this here. And I like that the metal heart is a different color. The wire is gold and the heart is silver. I have no idea where I got that. I've probably had that for as long as I've been scrapbooking. And I'm going to say, based on, I'm thinking it may be part of the stash that I got from from Nikki, my former daughter-in-law, Ava and Allie's mom. Her mom had passed away, and she gave me her mom's scrapbook stash. And so I've used it mostly through the years. I've used it to scrapbook her children, and I tag her in those. So this is one case where I'm using one piece of it that for a page that's not about her kids. So let me get that wire tamed off in a corner somewhere. And I don't know that I'm terribly happy with the title being where it is, but the eyes are pretty much stuck there. How about if I did something like, and these I'm going to have to do and maybe I'll put these letters Can I do that? I actually think I need to do it pretty much the way I had it. Although I can do it like this. I don't know that I'm going to like this any better than what I had, but it will be stuck down better. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I've got to make sure I get the letters to the right word here. And I've got them going kind of at the same angle as the photo, but I may have wanted them to be straighter. So let me move those down. And I may put another embellishment right there. And then I'm going to put it below that word. What can I put right there? Not more googly eyes. What do I have? Look, a flower or a leaf. I can do one of these flowers. Maybe, let's see. I don't like any of those. So let me see. Oh, wait. Some stitches. Some stitches. I'm going to do some stitches. I'm going to do these little cross stitch thingies. And I will do them because, you know, my eyes were crossed. And so here's some little X's. I'm going to cut the border around them a lot closer so that I can get them in the position I really want. Okay, that is actually more perfect than I could ever have imagined because they're crosses and my eyes were crossed. Actually, to kind of give you an update, I've had some, when I gave birth, the correction reversed itself. So instead of going in my ear, it started going out. So I had another surgery to fix that, to bring it back more in. And now in my advanced age, my right eye that had the surgery, there was a muscle transplant, and that eye is actually giving me some health problems. And the eye is pointing, that eye points kind of out. So my eyes are not straight, but I will never regret that I took that step and made that move and had that surgery. It was a life changer. My life was very different than it would have been had I not. It shouldn't have been, but the fact is it would have. I see people on television now that actually have similar issues, and I don't think I don't think they're unattractive. But that's a whole different story. So I put googly eyes on a 49 and Market page. Go figure. But it's all for LOAD, and I don't think I would ever have scrapped it. And it gave me a chance to use that stencil that John gave me, and I managed to do, let's see, ink. I have several kinds of ink. I have liquid ink splatters. I have oxide ink through the stencil. And then I have Versaliner ink, or Versafine ink for the stamping. So I think I'm done. I thank you for watching. Bye.